Last time on Ding Dong Games. After failing to Nuzlocke this game over and over and over again, I am losing my fucking mind.
Did I ever tell you what the definition of insanity is?
After repeating this Nuzlocke well over 10 times, I'm seriously starting to turn insane in this never-ending cycle of failure. Every time I leave, Emerald KAIZO pulls me back in.
Take me into your heart! Accept me as your savior! Nail me to the fucking cross! And let me be reborn!
I've got to complete this Nuzlocke once and for all so I can finally break free from this fucking game. Will I finally break free from Emerald KAIZO in the true final Nuzlocke? Or will I descend into a never-ending downward spiral?
You have a fucking problem in your head. Do you think I'm bullshitting you? Do you think I'm lying? Fuck you! Okay? Fuck you! It's okay, man.
Don't you dare move in the most intense episode yet. Oh god, it's finally over. This game is finally over. In case you didn't know, Emerald KAIZO is one of the most unfair, brutally hard Pokemon games ever. Even if you are stupidly overleveled, you can still get destroyed at any moment by cheap tactics like explosion, shadow tag, or just plain hacks. I've attempted to Nuzlocke this game so many times. You do not understand how much time I have sunk into this game. And I wasn't even exaggerating when I said that this game was affecting me mentally. My goal in this Nuzlocke isn't to actually beat the champion, as that is almost literally impossible with Advanced Nuzlocke rules, but my goal was to at least reach the Pokemon League and to challenge the Elite Four, as even just getting to that point is a huge challenge in itself. On the last Nuzlocke run, I made it all the way to Victory Road, then I lost. I reset my last save file because I accidentally, stupidly misclicked and lost my sweet scent user, which was the most idiotic misplay I've ever done in any game. I felt really guilty and ashamed with myself for doing this, as it was kind of an illegal play that I did. It really tilted me, so I decided to go attempt Victory Road without extra grinding. And because of that, I ended up losing. I was legit upset over that 180 hour run that went just down the drain. Even though I used loads of fast forward, it was still incredibly draining. I somehow returned to this game the next day to start another new Nuzlocke. Until I reach the endgame and do what I set out to do, I'll never be free of this cursed game. But this time, it finally happened. This is the final Nuzlocke. Before I start the Nuzlocke, I've got a point to make. This is an Advanced Nuzlocke mode, so set mode must be on at all times. This is very important to the run, as in my opinion, playing shift mode is just dumb. It makes the game so much easier to beat and gives you, the player, a huge unfair advantage over the AI. The fact that you get given free turns to switch in whatever you want also removes most of the strategy from these runs, as you don't have to worry about proper team building, how to counter certain threats and how you'd actually switch in those counters safely. Set mode forces you to be far more tactical and strategic with your team building. Like, imagine if you played on Pokemon Showdown against another player and the game decided to just give your opponent a free turn to switch in just because. That would be so unfair and unbalanced. I want to play Emerald KAIZO with its own rules. Another thing is that I've seen several people trying to compare their Nuzlocke runs of this game to my own and claim that this game isn't too hard. Well, no shit, if you're abusing a dumb mechanic like this, you'll have a much easier time than I did. Most of these people struggle during key boss battles with shift mode on. They wouldn't stand a chance if they did set mode like I did, like a true Nuzlocker would. But enough of that. Long story short, don't be a bitch and use set mode. And with that, the final Nuzlocke begins now. This is it. I will reach the end of the game and put this damn game to rest once and for all.
definition of insanity is.
So I start the game for the final time and I choose Mudkip. I did try Torchic once and it was also very strong early game, but Swampert is incredibly powerful late game as it gets a swift swim ability, which will come in handy. The nature can be very important. Ideally on Swampert physical attacks are more important than special attacks, but as long as you don't have a speed lowering nature you should be fine. A speed boosting nature is ideal. Also, since there are no EVs in this game, you can easily check your Pokemon's IVs with an IV calculator to see if they're good or not. In this previous Nuzlocke run, you can see a Kingdra with about 260 HP, whereas in this other Nuzlocke run, you can see a Kingdra with 280 HP, which is a notable difference. This is because of a difference in IV values, which can matter. But I start this current Nuzlocke anyways. The first battle was surprisingly easy. This Mudkip had a speed boosting, naive nature, which is good, but the reduced special defense did bite me in the ass later on, as special attacks are a lot more threatening in this game. I'll save you guys the time and skim through the first half of this Nuzlocke, as to be honest, it was easy enough. This game's a cakewalk until you reach Magma Cavern, if you grind enough and if you know what to expect from the opponents. You guys have seen me blast through the first 5 gyms already in previous runs, so I'll save you the time. So I clear every route until the first gym and catch several Pokemon. Most notably I get a Modest Nature Electric, which is awesome. In this game Manectric gets Intimidate. I also get a strong Snubbull which also has Intimidate, which is good. The most notable catch however is the Surskit in Pelipperk City. Surskit is not a very good Pokemon, but it's extremely important in this run as it learns Sweet Scent, which is essential for this game. You cannot play this game without a Sweet Scent user. Grinding without it is virtually inconceivable. You could do it, but it would take far too long, at least hundreds of hours to do so. But now that I've got a Sweet Scent user, that's not necessary anymore. Do not risk your Sweet Scent user at all, it's simply too important for your run. In Pelipperk Forest I failed to catch this stupid Silcoon, which is annoying, but I was dumbfounded when I saw that the next encounter on the way out was a shiny Phanpy, which is so good and very lucky. It had a brave nature which makes it an incredibly powerful physical tank. The fact that it gets battle armor to prevent critical hits combined with its super high physical defense and attack makes it very effective at countering explosion, which you need to be able to encounter as self-destruct and explosion is rampant in this game. Also it can tank threats like Slacking and Snorlax, which are recurring in this game. I grind my whole team up to level 20, which is excessive, but you know what? I'm flipping done with this game. If this game won't play fair, then neither will I. There's something really satisfying about mega grinding than demolishing everything in my path. This is why the first half of the game is a complete cakewalk for the most part. Be gone, Red. I catch more Pokemon on the way to the first gym, but I don't bother using them. Screw this Unknown. There is an NPC here who will trade you a flipping Moltres for a Shedinja, Jesus. But you can only get an Nincada post game. Obviously it wouldn't be that easy to get, I guess. Be careful of this one bug trainer who's got decently strong bug types. If you're not high level you might get overwhelmed. But for me that wasn't a problem, like, at all. But it's at this point where I start to prepare for the first gym. And this is where I start to go ham like you've never seen before. To say that I overlevel is the biggest understatement ever. I evolved Donphan, Granbull and Manectric, then Swampert, before the first gym.
My ding ding dong.
But no, I'm not done there, I continue to grind them even further beyond. Yeah, that just happened. Thank God for speed up. Also, anyone who says that speed up is cheating can piss off. First gym badge is demolished, not even worth showing.
I choose you to be the first of my victims.
After that I destroy this Aqua Grunt. then May. Be sure to get this miracle seed that will be useful later on. Then I go to Dewford Island and prepare for the second gym battle. I catch a seal, which is very nice as in this game, Dewgong got a big buff to its special attack stat, but this is very useful later on, which I will explain. Then I catch an adamant nature Mankey, which is very powerful, albeit a bit frail. I don't use this Clefairy as I've already got a normal type, though it is a very good Pokemon. Hyper Voice got a large buff in this game, and Clefable is bulky, which makes it very useful late game. I recommend using it. I train up Primeape to a high level, then go to clap Brawly on the cheeks with Swampert. Be careful of the two Shadow Tag bitches in this gym. This is one thing you have to prepare for when using set mode, as you can't just switch an encounter. But Brawly still gets blown up by my Swampert. Make sure you get the EXP share afterwards. After that I go to Sleeport City, but I instantly get jumped by this gay sailor, who I send to the Shadow Realm. On this beach I catch a Squirtle, which I never end up using. Then in Slateport I get a Voltorb, which is very useful late game. Even though it's got adamant nature, it's still nice to have for the later gyms. I do get another Sweet Scent user, which I guess is good just in case like. Then I destroy these two Aqua Grunts back to back. This is tough if you're low leveled and you're not prepared, but I'm a pure monster, I don't care. I'm so OP that I learned Ice Punch and destroy Maze Grovyle without any trouble. The funny thing is that just in case Swampert does get into trouble, which it won't at this level, I still have a bunch of very powerful level 30s in my team that can handle any threat at this point in the game. But that's not even necessary. The quickest way through the early game is to just have Swampert pummel everything, then simply grind later on when you can farm much more XP. Before destroying the third gym, I whip every other trainer around Mauville City, including Wally and the Windstreet family. I want Swampert to learn Earthquake before the third gym. I catch an Oddish which will be used later on. It's got a special defense nature which can be very handy late game. The other Pokemon I catch aren't noteworthy. I do a buttload of cycling to spam the daycare center for XP, but then I realise that grinding with Sweet Scent is probably better, so I don't forget any useful moves by accident. So after I finish grinding up my Swampert, I train up the rest of my team just in case. Also, there are some double battles in which our other Pokemon will be forced into, and the wild encounters in the next town give a lot more XP but are also much tougher, so the rest of the squad hits level 40. Then Watson is next to feel our wrath. I almost feel sorry for him. Not really. Be careful of these two Smeargles, as they are deceptively strong. One of them has Aeroblast and it could have destroyed my Primeape, but luckily it didn't. Also, this double battle uses Toxic Stall, so make sure you fight the trainers separately. Red gets trivialized once again, then I catch a Stantler, which is actually pretty decent. The following area has wild Swallows, which can use explosions, so don't even bother fighting them unless you can one-hit KO them. Now I grind more to prepare for the following boss fights, though make sure to always account for critical hits with wild Pokemon, and do not take any risks when grinding. The last thing you want is to lose one of your Pokemon to dumb hacks. Also, some people don't like it when I use the term hacks, because they don't know that it's slang for RNG. Those people can suck my ding dong. Jesus, this Smeargle had Explosion. But I just survived it, because Manectric has Intimidate, so that was fortunate. I get a Golbat, which is very good, though it does become a bit less useful after the 7th gym badge. The next boss fight against Maxie was a total joke. Crobat outsped my Swampert and used Giga Drain, but I didn't even care. The following double battle after that can be hard if you're not prepared, as the opponents do use explosion strategies. But luckily I was prepared for it. Now I've got the grind for the 4th gym, and this is where the difficulty spikes up quite a bit. I did get this Charmeleon, but I never use it as fire types are not good in the late game. Torkoal here can use explosion, so be very careful of that. But after reaching level 80 with Swampert, I clear out Flannery's gym. Now this time there were close calls, as Swampert does struggle with this, even at its absurd level, due to chlorophyll users. In hindsight, I should have grinded up the rest of my team a bit more. There is one point in the gym where you cannot backtrack after beating another trainer, which I was not prepared for, but luckily I had just enough healing items on me to get past that. Make sure you bring healing items to this gym. Oh my god, his Victory Bell outsped my Swampert and was a critical hit away from destroying my Swampert in one hit. I should not have risked that, but it was my fault as the rest of my team isn't too specially defensive and can struggle to switch in safely. For some reason I was just scared of this Houndoom. I thought maybe it would have a Quick Claw or something like Hidden Power Grass, which I do know that Houndoom sometimes runs. I switched out against Houndoom, but I underestimated its power as it managed to KO my Manectric. This was bad. Manectric was really powerful, but oh well. I should have prepared more by bringing a good special wall for this gym. First casualty, but thankfully there won't be any more for a while. Despite this, Flannery goes down just as easily as the other gym leaders, as she's got no grass types in her team. Yeah, this gym is definitely one of the harder ones. The Perma-Sun is problematic, and we will be seeing this again. On the way to the 5th gym, I make sure to pick up a Lileep, which is vital to this Nuzlocke, as Credilli is such an amazing Pokemon to have, especially as mine had a special defense boosting nature. It's an incredibly good special wall. It's got awesome moves like Giga Drain and Ancient Power, which were both buffed significantly in this game, and Recover to give it so much stalling ability in battle. It can tank so much, and the fact that it's a rock type also means that it can take Explosion easily enough. This is so useful, and I give it the Miracle Seed to boost up its Giga Drain. Definitely pick up this Pokemon, you will not regret it. Some of the trainers in the 5th gym can be tough, they can abuse hacks and Toxic Stall, but I got through all of them easily enough. This gym leader was once again a complete joke. Slacking is very powerful, but this time it didn't do much to me. I just want to get the Lucky Eggs ASAP so I can resume grinding much faster than before. I pick up the Lucky Eggs, which is so good, as it makes grinding so much better, especially as the wild encounters in this new route are very strong. Be careful of critical hits and all that. Also, there is a double battle at this rock place at the sea, below Petalburg City. Do not engage these trainers, as they're level 65, which is unusually over leveled. I did engage them in my last run, and I lost a few Pokemon because of this, because I was totally unprepared. I did not expect them to be this over leveled out of nowhere. Do not risk this. Also, one more extremely important point. Do not, under any circumstances, rematch any trainers with a Pokénav. I kid you not, some of them will be instantly raised to level 100 right away.
That is crazy.
Even Gabby and Ty, the interviewers, eventually become max level after 5 rematches. Not all of these rematchable trainers are this overpowered, but I'll just not risk this at all. You can literally die randomly, so avoid them. Now that my whole team is stupidly over leveled, not just my Swampert, I make my way to the 6th gym and clear out the Weather Institute. Hey, for once I actually used a Pokemon besides Swampert. But I do need to switch out against May Sceptile, just to be safe. I don't want to risk Swampert getting hit. I do have Swift Swim and Rain Boosted Surf, which is really nice. I catch this Spoink, which will be useful later on. It's very nice as it's got very good special defense, so I keep it. This bloody Ludicolo got a Flinch Hacks and a critical hit with Waterfall in the rain, which almost beat my Credilli. Man, piss off with his hacks. Before I challenge Winona, I make my way through the other routes first, and catch this Drowsy, which is deceptively good in this game, and I add it to the team. Hypno got a large buff to its special attack stat, and its huge special bulk makes it very useful late game, as you will see, against all the other special attackers. Holy shit, I legit almost lost to this trainer, because the RNG was really screwing me over. Look! That was scary close, but I'm just glad that's over. Hacks really pisses me off. But despite that, the next gym leader was no problem at all, especially with Rock Slide. Two more badges to go now. In Safari Zone I catch a Vigoroth. I really like Slacking. Now this is where the real grind starts. You've seen me grind like a madman, but this is the real deal. Maxie's hideout is hellish if you're unprepared, and has so many explosion users inside. You can get KO'd even if you're at level 100. Do whatever you need to do to beat that place. I'm grading everyone up to level 100 just to be safe, cause screw this game. Also make sure you've got a way to handle explosion. Ghost types are great if you have one. Credilli and Donphan are also good as they can tank explosion easily enough with their good defense stats. It's like Flannery's gym on steroids with a perma sun. Don't be afraid to prepare for each individual magma grunt inside, most of them are quite tough. Luckily I still remember most of their teams off by heart, so this wasn't too bad for me, but Maxie can be tough. I'm holding nothing back for this area. So I reach Magma Cavern, and it's best to just avoid the random encounters as many of them have explosion. I have the first battle here, and I'll just show you what happens. What the actual hell? This is such bullshit. You're telling me that this camera up triggered its quick claw and got a critical hit when it mattered the most? Piss off, seriously. So annoying, man. My starter is dead to this ridiculous hacks. It's literally less than 1%. It's fine. It's fine. There are other water types I can replace it with. Though Swampert would have been very useful late game. This Charizard used Belly Drum and Earthquake, and thankfully that didn't crit me. At least that went my way at least. Granbull can one-shot Wobbuffet like it deserves. Credilli does handle most of the things here easily, as it can just tank most of the things that get thrown at it, and heal up at the same time, which is so useful. The rest of the cave goes by pretty smoothly. Well, there was a slight problem at the Magma admin. The battle was easy, except for one thing here. This Salamence was just able to survive a rock slide from my Primeape, then retaliated with Air Slash. That was also a critical hit. One-shotting me. For God's sake, this fucking game. In hindsight, I should have just switched out, but oh well. Primeape isn't even that useful late game anyways, as it is very frail. Everything else in this cave was easy though. At least Maxie was easier, as Hypno's able to counter his team very easily. Credilli did take a critical hit from Entei, but the special defense nature was able to save it. That's pretty important. Well, alright, at least with Maxie done, that is one of the worst parts of the game cleared. My Donphan is left in the PC, so I can replace Primeape with that. I now clear out this Team Aqua hideout. Granbull's Intimidate made it able to take Explosion, but beware of critical hits. That's why Donphan is useful. It's also good for attacking Slacking, who hits like a truck. Damn, Snorlax's self-destruct did a frightening amount of damage to Credilli. A critical hit would have probably been enough to destroy it. The Aqua admin was not too difficult to beat. Look!
Look! Look!
After that, I get jumped by these boats. What? Go away. Now I'm at Moss Deep City, I can catch several new Pokemon. The first one I catch is Ralts, which is really strong. It's got a calm nature, making it one of the best Pokemon to add to my team. This is awesome. Then north of Moss Deep City I catch a Walrein, which is incredibly good. It's got all round very good stats, which makes it very viable. If you catch a Seal in Dewford, it becomes far more likely that Walrein will be your first encounter due to species clause, so totally make use of Walrein, you won't regret it. I do go to Shoal Cave, but I only get the Shell Bell later on in my playthrough. If possible, make sure you get the item ASAP, as it's incredibly useful. Time for the 7th gym now. You need to be careful this one. Due to many of the cheap tactics, there is a lot of explosion users in the double battles, but because I was prepared for this, I cleared this out easily enough. But if you're caught off guard, you might take an explosion to the face and get KO'd. The final trainer in the gym is the one that you need to be wary of, as it spams explosion with ghost types in a double battle. Credilli and Granbull with Intimidate can counter this, but definitely make sure to double attack the Electrode, so you can attack the following Snorlax as it comes in. A self-destruct on Snorlax is incredibly dangerous. Last Nuzlocke I lost 2 Pokemon in this battle. The ghost types aren't threatening, so just double attack the explosion users. And now it's time for the 7th gym leader. This was not easy, as there was some bad luck involved, and I did make some bad decisions myself in the battle. Also, my team was not optimized for this gym battle, which was my fault, but I'll show you what happened. The end of the battle was surprisingly tense. I should not have risked my Credilli, and I did underestimate Jirachi, but I'm thankful that this time I was not unlucky. Now I've got to beat Team Magma once and for all. The good news is that Team Magma are a bit easier this time around. No Sun, I guess. I beat the admin for the last time with Hypno, who can easily sweep. Man, it's nice that Hypno's really good in this game. Next up, however, is the dreaded triple battle. But don't worry, the trainers only have 3 Pokemon each this time around, so it's really not too threatening. One of them does have a Wobbuffet, but holy shit, I think I really lucked out with his freeze hacks. A miracle would have ended Walrein, but I managed to freeze it, so I might have been really lucky with that. But after that battle, the other 2 grunts afterwards go down really easily. Now I've got to beat Team Magma for the final time. This is easy if you've got a plan for this battle. Because you're battling 2 trainers at the same time, and they both use separate Pokemon, the best strategy is to beat all of one trainer's Pokemon first, so they are out the battle, then finish off the other trainer's Pokemon, so it's 2 versus 1. Granbull's good as it weakens Taurus with Intimidate, while Walrein then wipes out the rest. Team Magma can permanently get fucked now. Man, this is so tense. Victory Road is within sight. All I've got to do is finish off Team Aqua in the last gym. But the Team Aqua hideout is not a breeze, as there will be permanent rain, which is problematic. I go to catch some more Pokemon near Moss Deep City before proceeding, but something incredibly dumb happened. This mandatory trainer led off with a Duck Trio, which had Arena Trap and stopped my Electrode from switching out. It one-shotted my Electrode with Earthquake. You know, of all the Pokemon you would expect from a swimmer, Duck Trio was the last. I was not happy about this, as Electrode is very good against the final gym leader, as it's got super high speed and light screen setup, and it can outspeed Swift Swim users. This happens, I guess. I did catch a high level Seadra near Slateport City, which is very good to catch. Anyone who has seen my Crystal Clear video knows that Kingdra is very powerful for Nuzlocks, especially as it's got the Swift Swim ability, and there will be permanent rain incoming. Before finishing off Team Aqua, I grind up Gardevoir and Kingdra, which put in so much work. One really annoying thing however is that in this game, for some reason, Kingdra is in the fluctuating XP category, which is the slowest category to reach level 100, meaning that grinding this takes ages, but it was totally worth it to reach level 100. If you're playing set mode, don't take chances, don't be silly and reach max level. Most of the Team Aqua guns here were easy, but the Aqua admin was tough. Her Ludicolo has good speed and coverage in her rain, and most of her team had Sing, which was not fun to deal with as it just puts your team to sleep. I felt fortunate enough to win without any casualties, as this battle could have gone way worse. But with that done, there was one final villain battle before I am ready for the last gym, Archie. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, and this is very important, that in the Seafloor Cavern where I am now, the Sky Pillar, and in Victory Road, these places all have wild Wobbuffets as wild encounters, so do not risk wild encounters in these areas unless you are capable of dealing with Wobbuffets. are just too low to do much against the gym leaders, as many of them have rain boosted water moves and swift swim. They can take out my Granbull, so I need to switch out for a better Pokemon that's more well suited for this gym. Walrein also isn't that great against the 8th gym leader, as it doesn't have the Rain Dish ability, and they do have Thunder users to take out my Walrein. So what I did is I take these 2 Pokemon and I put them into my PC, and I take out 2 Pokemon which I did mention earlier on, Spoink and Oddish, and I train them up as replacements, as they can be very useful. Grumpig's decently fast, and can tank special hits easily, while Blossom is slow but can deal a lot of damage with grass moves. I finish off all the trainers in the gym, then I train up the new recruits. Though while I was doing this, something awful happened. Walrein died. Stupidly. A Hariyama, which was significantly lower level, had superpower, and got a critical hit, which totally mattered. My Walrein is really bulky, and it's got a defense boosting nature, so the crit totally mattered, and losing it really pissed me off as Walrein is very good. Admittedly, this was my fault, as the rest of the battle was really easy, and I could have easily just switched out into something else. But no, I thought maybe this time I would not get critted. But no, I got critted. Well, at the very least I don't need Walrein for the final gym battle. And Jesus Christ, this Slacking almost one-shotted me. That was too close for comfort. Oh well, goodbye Walrein. After a few hours of grinding, Grumpig and Blossom are both level 100, and my team is ready for the gym leaders. First up is Wallace, who is a single battle. Some of this Pokemon are dangerous, and I'll need to use the full power of my brain to handle this. But I'm so close to the end game, I can't mess this up now. Let's go! Well, I wasn't too happy about that battle. I mean, it could have gone worse, but damn, I got unlucky. I had no choice but to sacrifice my Grumpig, which was the least useful Pokemon on my team, but still, it should have been much easier, but the freeze hacks was really unfortunate. Oh well, overall it could have been worse. The rest of my team is still standing. Granbull is back in for the true final gym battle. This time it's a double battle, which does sound harder, but I do have a strategy in place for this. Okay, let's finish this so I can finally be done with this game. Come on! Well, that was much easier than Wallace at least. I was more worried about this one, but I'm glad there were no casualties. Oh baby, you know what this means? It's finally time for Victory Road. I've got bad memories of that place, but it's fine. This time, it'll all be over. Whatever I do, I will not let my guard down like I usually do. One more area to clear, then I'll finally be finished. I'll be free of Emerald KAIZO. Forever. Okay, I'm ready. In Victory Road I instantly get surprise jumped by a trainer, but he was surprisingly easy. I'm happy with my overall team. Kingdra leads me off and is so reliably strong, and my bulky Pokemon can tank up easily, giving me an answer for any threat thrown against me. I avoid encounters in Victory Road because of the Wobbuffets, but in Evergrande City I encountered a freaking Grovyle, which is awesome. I catch it, but I keep it boxed for now. Okay, the first noteworthy battle is upon us, Wally. He's a bitch, so this shouldn't be too hard. That was okay, but be aware that you can get haxed at any time. Always fully heal your team before continuing on after a battle. What? Red was hiding here in wait for us and wants one final battle. Screw this guy. I'm gonna destroy him one final time. Fuck this guy. That critical hit on Granbull was so cheap. I had Granbull since the start of the game, and it died to this cheap shot. Apart from that, the final battle against Red was actually alright, but that crit really sucked. But with Red beaten, the end has to be near. The good news is that I do have my level 100 Donphan in my PC as a reserve, so I can just replace Granbull with it and still have a full team of 6. Okay, back to Victory Road. Okay, so far so good. These trainers are tough but manageable. The way I countered this Wobbuffet with Rock Smash was really funny. The end is upon me now. What's this? A double battle? I don't like the looks of this. No! Gardevoir is dead. For God's sake. That flipping critical hit probably mattered. I switched out against Claydol, expecting an explosion, but it was in fact just earthquake spam. Had I known that and not switched out, I could have handled it without any casualties, but I didn't want to take the risk. In this situation, playing safe actually costed me. But don't worry, I still have 5 behemoths on my team, and the end has to be very close now, right? But just to be safe, I train up my Grovyle to level 100, just to ensure that I make it through Victory Road. It had an impish nature which isn't the best, but it's still very strong. Okay, now my team is once again ready, I return to my quest. This is the final hurdle. I beat this other double battle easily this time. You won't fool me twice with these double battle shenanigans. Then I faced the penultimate trainer in Victory Road. That was nothing. A mere scrub. This game won't stop me now. I've come too far to lose. And there it is, the exit. I can finally leave this hellish dungeon. But before I leave, there is one trainer. One final battle before I am free. It's Vito from the Winstraight family. Turns out he's the true final boss of Victory Road. Bring it on. And with that, the final trainer is vanquished. I can see the light. And now, I can't believe it. I made it. I finally made it. All of those failures, all those countless hours and deaths, going to the brink of insanity, for this. And now, it's all over. I've done what I set out to do, and have completed my pilgrimage to the Pokemon League. To me, I have already completed this Nuzlocke, as this was my goal from the start. I can finally put this game to rest once and for all. I am now free from the endless cycle of death and rebirth. Emerald KAIZO is now dead to me. I take a well-earned rest at the Pokemon League, then take one last look at my team. Now that I've made it here, there's one final thing left to do. I have to truly end the final Nuzlocke for the last time. The true impossible challenge lies before me, and I must attempt it. To put an end to this, there is virtually no chance of me winning against the impossibly hard Elite Four. The fact that they have max EVs and are fully optimized is simply not beatable with Advanced Nuzlocke rules. That's just not happening. But I'm gonna go out in a blaze of glory and have a glorious death to symbolize me breaking free from this game. There's one true final battle left to do. I make just one change to my team. I replace Blossom with Slacking, and I teach my team some new moves. With that, my ultimate team is now ready. Like the 300 Spartans, this is the end for us. Like the Nuzlocke, end. Of course, I never had a chance here to begin with. Had I played a little bit better, I might have been able to prolong the inevitable, but it doesn't matter anymore. My death was inevitable. Apparently Sableye got a massive buff. In this game, the Elite Four is almost statistically impossible, especially if set mode is on. According to the developer, there is a way to Nuzlocke the champion, but it's a secret he won't reveal. Anyways, it's time to celebrate. I feel so many emotions now that this game is finally over for me. I feel happy, like I've been through so much, all those failed attempts. I don't feel angry anymore at the hacks either. I learned a lot about myself, that patience is the key to winning, in that I need to learn from my misplays. But with that, it's time to put this game to rest. Goodbye Emerald KAIZO. You'll be missed, in a weird way. Actually, no, not really. But anyways, I might make a new updated guide on how to truly Nuzlocke your way to the endgame, now that I know this game inside out. But it's time to take a short break. My next video will be on Pokemon Liquid Crystal, an underrated ROM hack of Crystal in Gen 3's engine. After that, I do want to branch out into new content, but don't worry, I'll still be doing the regular Nuzlockes. But with that, this is Ding Dong, signing out.